Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Brought to you by Mr. Matt Van Vorst of Macias Insurance. Cinco de Milo.
Cinco de Milo.
Yeah, our guest tonight, Milo Gralnick.
That's right. Peace Lords. The Peace Lords. So, man, there you go.
But it is Cinco de Mayo.
It is indeed Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, so we did all that.
And did you...
Is it over?
Well, I don't know.
No, I mean the show. We just started.
I was reading about Cinco de Mayo that it is much more heavily celebrated in America than it is in Mexico.
We're known for our holidays.
We like to party. We're always looking for a reason to party. It could be like, this is the day that Hitler invaded Poland. Let's have a party. I mean, we are always looking for a reason to party.
Well, a sea shanty sing-along is a good reason to party.
Absolutely.
A Trinity Riverfest is a good reason to party.
And then that is happening this weekend, and there is a lot of music going on there, in addition to the Point Fest finals.
And Milo Gralnick, who is known by many names, including Venus de Milo. That's just one of them, right?
Venus de Milo. Oh, man, what was the
Operation... one? Oh, no, that's what I said. The rapper, Deep Freeze.
Deep Freeze, there you go.
Or, your favorite, Lord Freak.
Lord Freak is current.
Yes. Well, no, that's not current. That's 90s.
Is that? No. It's the Peace
Now,
Lords now.
yeah,
That's right.
there
It's
you
Peace
go.
Lords now. I'm sorry. Lord Freak, Peace Lords. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So there you
Peace
go.
Lords, but who's buying? Right?
Right. So there you go, man.
Can you put a price on peace?
You could put a price on war.
I didn't ask. Dave did. Dave's not here.
So there you go. It is Cinco de Mayo, and there's a whole lot going on. So before we get to that Peace Lords interview with
Right.
Milo, who is playing at Trinity Riverfest.
All right, so that put it all together. Now
That put
I
it all
understand
together.
what I
Yeah.
was talking about.
There you go. It's all been tied together. But before we get to that interview, let's tell everyone what's happening around town right now.
The Cizanti Sing-Along.
The Zizanti Sing-Along.
Yeah, we said that, right? So I
Yep.
need to tell them more, don't I? Because it is a holiday.
It's a Cinco de Mayo.
Right, so a little extra activity this evening.
Yeah, nice Thursday going on. Starting after the Sea Shanty Sing-Alongs, we also got the Outsiders at Fast Eddie's Bon Air from 7 to 11 p.m. this evening.
Open Mike later tonight, 9 o'clock at the Raging Cajun. Acoustic open mic, I think, with Everhart and Light at Bakers and Hale. Although I did not see it listed this week, and last week it was Jumpin' Johnny, so they might have taken a break this week.
Well, there you go. We got DJ Tony from 8 p.m. until midnight at Martin's Tunes and Eats in Wood River. And my buddy Grant Pagano up at George's local brew in Jerseyville. Hookie has a new song being released tomorrow.
All right.
A new song called Gringo. So there you go. Gringo. And
Why didn't they release that today?
I think it might have been today. It seems like it would have been perfect. But
I'd have done it May the 4th be with you.
It is a good song. I've heard it, but I want to tell you, before we jump back into this.
We're jumping.
Before we jump back into this list, I got to tell you. So I watched those Hideous Gentlemen videos.
Oh!
I watched 2 of them. I don't know how many they have. I watched 2 of them. The one with the dogs, where they're in the dog. That is a good video. That is a really well put together video. The one where they're walking around the studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one shot.
Yep.
There is no cuts in it. That was amazing. That was well put together, well shot. That took a lot to do that one. There was not a cut in it, and it Anyway, so if you want to see those, just go to YouTube and check out. I think I actually went to the Facebook page, Hideous Gentlemen,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
a
had the
good idea.
videos connected there. So go to the Facebook page, Hideous Gentlemen, and check them out. They are really good songs and really cool videos.
Yeah. And so you basically finally got around to it. For those who haven't been tuned in for the last couple of weeks, that was 2 weeks ago when the Hideous Gentlemen were here, and you're like, oh, I'm going to watch these videos.
Well,
Well, actually, it started out, you guys got videos? What, you got an album coming out? Is that why you're here? Imitation of myself.
Yeah, that's why we had them on.
And that's called digressing. So now we need to forward
Progress.
to Trinity. The
What?
trifecta.
The trifecta. There we go.
The Trinity River Festival.
We are moving our way through Thursday night to get
We
to
are
that.
doing that too. And,
so-
but eventually we'll get to the Peace Lords.
There you go.
Right.
But in the meantime,
You
tonight,
brought up videos, so now I'm stuck.
so-
I need to ask you if you've seen God Made Velcro video.
I did not see that one. Is that a good one?
That shocked the mind.
Shock the Mind. That is one of Milo's one of Milo's many projects that you're going to hear about in the interview tonight.
That's the one with Jeremy Piven in it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
I remember that now.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, now I'm digressing.
All right, so now to progress into what is happening tonight, we've got Squeeze Box from 6 to 9 tonight at Wigglers and Holiday Shores. And then Jared Lutz is at the Corner Tavern in Edwardsville. Corey Everts is at the Stagger Inn again in Edwardsville, while Soulshine Groove is playing the Viva La Fiesta in Edwardsville. Sounds like a good place for Cinco de
9,
Mayo. Also got Butch Moore at the Farmers Market. That's only going on until 7 p.m., so he started at 5.
That's Maryville.
Yeah, and then Blackie Stark is going to 11 p.m. at Deutz Village Inn and Pontoon Beach this evening.
We are not done. Flip side. Started at 5 at Patty McDee's in Granite City. Mo Pleasure. Underway at 6 at Patrick's in Granite City. Boulder Dash started at 5, going to 9 at Zapata's Cinco de Mayo in Collinsville. And, oh boy, Alex Digalamo. Digiolamo. Man, that's a tough one. What do you think?
Digilamo. Digilaramo.
Yeah.
Digilaramo. Alex Digilaramo. Prairie Inn in Dorsey. So there you go.
And then Butch Moore and Alan White 5 to 9 at Mi Casa in Belleville, and Shotgun Creek 7 o'clock at Silver Creek Saloon in Belleville.
That is a pretty nice Thursday evening, and some nice choices on Cinco de Mayo as to what you can go do to celebrate the Mexican Army's victory over the French.
Venus de Milo is one of the Milo Gralnick characters he will be talking about in the Peace Lords interview coming up. They'll be playing Trinity Riverfest this weekend
Yeah.
at the VFW in Cottage Hills.
Yeah, there's
Also
a lot
going
of
on this
bands.
weekend, pianos at Raging Cajun on Friday. Anthony Nanny and Company at 2 to 6 and Borderline 7:30 at Fast Eddie's. The Drag Band at the VFW in Alton 7 to 11. PB&J 8 o'clock at Shea, Maryland and Alton. Lefty Daytona 7 to 10 at the Lodge at Lovejoy in Alton. Scott and Michelle 4 to 7 at Chubby's in Alton, and Steve Ewing Duo 7 o'clock at Baker's and Hale in Godfrey. The Steve Ewing Duo.
There you go.
You recognize that guy's name?
I do. That's the guy from the Urge.
That is, for the folks who are wondering.
And from Steve's Hot Dogs. Right?
That's right.
There you go. And then finally, here we go. We got the Friday night of Trinity River Festival. It's happening at the VFW in Cottage Hills. Man, just a nice place to go and hang out, and a lot of good bands both Friday and Saturday. This is the Friday lineup.
Yeah, it's not in order.
It is not in order, but here
Right.
we go with the Friday lineup. We have Money Shot, Hooky, Dead Roses, Little Known Fact, Accidentally on Purpose, Synapsis, H7, Lazy Lester, OBD with Jason Dunham, Mark Rice, and Joe.
Aaron
Joe. There you go. And Aaron Joe. So there you go. That
Right.
is that is the Friday night lineup out at the VFW Cottage Hills for the Trinity River Festival this weekend.
So both our guests for last week's guests, right? Liver Jones and the Flatworms, and the Peace Lords playing the Saturday.
Both of them will be on Saturday evening, indeed.
Also going on Friday, Toxic Johnny, 8 o'clock at Martin's Tunes and Eats in Wood River. That's me. Town Criers, 7 to 10 at the Moose in Wood River. Drag Show, 8:30 at the Back Bar in Edwardsville on Friday. Jeremy Drake, right around the corner, 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's. He's going to finish that up just in time to get to the drag show, isn't he?
I believe so.
No Diggity, 7 to 10 at the 1818 Chop House in Edwardsville. Watch your car there. The Rollins Brothers, 7 to 10 at the Moose in Edwardsville. And Midlife Duo, 6 o'clock at Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. Flip side, 9:30 to 1:30 a.m. at Patrick's in Granite City on Friday. Phase 2 going till 12:30 a.m. at Deutsch Village Inn and Pontoon Beach. Butch Moore back at it. At the American Legion Fish Fry, 5:30 to 8 in Collinsville. John Evans, 7 to 10 at George's Local Brew. Open mic up at the Hog Pit with Steve Mellis, and that starts at 7.
And then we got Catfish Willie doing it at the Bloody Bucket Saloon in Grafton. He starts at 8 p.m. We got PB&J at the Grafton Pub, weather permitting.
Always.
The Owls down at the loading dock in Grafton. And again, Catfish Willie at the Bloody Bucket Saloon.
Yeah, I got it twice, didn't I?
And then here we go. Pat Liston, $15 to enter this one, and it is at the Trinity Lutheran Church Dinner Auction in Warden.
That's from 5 to 7, so a charity event, I believe, there. Scott Marlin, 9 o'clock until midnight at Unwind Lounge in Highland on Friday, and Cherry Bomb, 8 o'clock at Whiskey Creek Incorporated in New Delhi, not Old Delhi.
Yeah, the new Delhi.
That's
So,
right.
so real quick, I have to jump back to Martin's Tunes and Eats, Toxic Johnny.
Yeah,
You said that's me.
yeah, it might be.
I wasn't sure if you were for real or not.
Well,
I'm like, wow, is this a new thing? Yeah, that would be cool. I wasn't
Fake news,
I
sorry.
wasn't sure.
Fake news.
So there you go. Now we are up to Saturday. May 7th.
Tenacious D showed up at my house, so if you know what that means, you know what that means.
They showed
They
up.
said
at my,
stop.
They showed up at my house too, but I didn't answer because I knew what they were going to say. So moving on to May 7th, we got a Kentucky Derby party with the
Right.
fabulous Thunderbirds at Max in Alton. There you go. That's
8 o'clock
That's Stevie Ray Vaughan, right?
for the Thunderbirds. I think the race is before that. No, Stevie Ray Vaughan passed away, bud.
It's a little brother.
No, Jimmy's not in the band anymore. I did look that up.
Jimmy's not in the band
I
anymore.
don't think so.
Hey,
But, yeah, he was.
I got to ask you something.
What?
Are you tough enough?
No.
That's one of their mind-blowing hits. One of their 2 mind-blowing hits.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. The Kentucky Derby. So they're probably going to have mint jubilees. They're going to have the horse race on. I'm sure you can bet at the off-track betting facilities. And you got the fabulous Thunderbirds kicking off at 8 p.m.
A lot of those parties going on Saturday, and the Mother's Day parties going on Sunday.
Man, it is and Cinco de Mayo today. It's a packed weekend.
I love celebrating Mother's Day. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Carl Black. And,
I'm a big
Zappa
fan.
owes him money, so that's why I'm a fan.
I'm a Lowell George fan.
Right.
There you go. So back to our Saturday. We got leading up to Sunday, which is Mother's Day. We got Pat Liston at Chubby's, 5 to 8 p.m. on Saturday. Matt Zeiss and Company, and then Borderline. Those are both Matt Zeiss and Company, 2 to 6 p.m., and then Borderline, 7:30 to 11:30. Those are both at Fast Eddie's Bon Air this Saturday. Out at the Regal Beagle in Godfrey, we got Rogers and Neenhouse. And then Tanglefoot will be doing it at Bakers and Hale up until 11 p.m. this Saturday evening. Also, Lazy Lester, Clifton Terrence, they're also 7 to 11 p.m. this Saturday, which brings us
To
the
Trinity
River
Festival.
at
Good thing we rehearsed.
at the VFW
In Cottage
Cottage Hills. It is the Saturday night
Yeah.
lineup, and this, man, it starts probably around noon, I would imagine, and going all day long. So you got a chance to see a lot of bands. I hear they called the rain back for Saturday that they were expecting. So here is the lineup. We've
They
got
just called it? They're like,
They did. They called it and
Come
said,
back,
"Hey,
Rain."
hold back. Just
Oh,
hold."
hold
You got
back.
if you know the right number, you can do that.
I thought they called it back. Like, hey, you're going to go away, but we want you to stay. And I was confused.
I don't know.
Come back.
Call. So here is the lineup for the Trinity River Fest on Saturday evening. We've got the Tall Trees. We've got Autumn Conkle, the Set Break Sarahs.
You're going backwards. That's
Darien
cool.
Row, Crown Rock, Pie Saw Canyon.
Yeah, you're actually
Bastard
going
and the
backwards because
Crows.
it's Rock Crown.
Oh, Crown. Did I say Crown Rock? Rock Crown. I'm sorry. Rock
Yeah.
Crown, Piasaw Canyon.
Who, by the way,
Yeah.
we talked to them last week, right? With Liver Jones and the we had both We had
The
Liver
Piesaw
Jones and the
Canyon,
Flatworms, but
and
one of the
Piesaw,
guys,
yeah.
in
And
Piesaw
Andy
Canyon.
is also in Piesaw Canyon.
So yeah, check that video out if you haven't.
Yeah. Also, we've got Bastard and the Crows.
Right.
86 Red. The Peace Lords, who we will be talking to here in about another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, and you know what? He was on B-Boy Records. Any rappers out there know exactly what that is.
That's like the early rap label before there was a million of them. There was a couple, and B-Boy was one of them.
So yeah, that's and then he had a record shelved. Remember?
Yeah,
by Atlantic.
Yeah, by Atlantic said no, you know we like this, but we're gonna figure out how to make more money by stopping you punk. No, I don't know.
Yeah, and
that's a bummer whenever that happens. It happens to a lot of bands where.
This is the fun part about doing this show, Pigpen, is we bring in a guy and we're like, you remember you looked at him, you're like, he looks familiar. I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we hear the story and we're like, oh my gosh.
When I saw him out in the lobby, I thought, man, I think I know this guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't, you meet so many people in life, and it's hard to keep them all straight sometimes. So I thought, well, I'll just keep my mouth shut. But then as he started talking, he's like, I'm Lord Freak. I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute. Now I'm putting it all together.
Yeah, one of the innovators of rap music in the Peace Lords, and a chance to hear all about that coming up here in just a bit, and a chance to go see it live.
Yeah,
the Peace Lords kind of a jam band, so a little bit different. But he said he does do a little bit of rap with it,
and some rock, and it's psychedelic, and he's kind of combining a lot of cool things there. So
I did check out the Lord Freak videos.
Yeah,
Gangsta Hippie.
Yeah.
Cool. I checked out God Made Velcro too,
which
that's
I
actually
one.
liked better, but I found it interesting. No, never mind. You can check
all right,
it out
I'm gonna have to check it out. Yeah, there you go. That's another one of us. That's another one of Milo's bands, God Made Velcro. So you're going to hear a lot about that coming up here in a few minutes. But back to the Trinity River Fest.
I got an asterisk there. You see that?
Yeah, the Intrusion. Are they not?
Well, I heard they weren't doing it, and they had a private thing instead they were going to do, but that has disappeared on their site, and the Trinity River Fest is still there.
Okay.
So I'm going with probably.
So let's say the Intrusion is going to be there.
Probable.
Everheart and Light will be on Saturday night at the Trinity River Fest. We've got Liver Jones and the Flatworms, who was our guest last week. If you want to check that video out, just go to cottonmouth.org Facebook, YouTube page, not Facebook.
Yeah. And that's like Piesaw Canyon and Walk On, and we could go on forever.
A lot of bands. There's also we've got Agents of the Free on Saturday night, Cricket and the Grilled Avocados, Fleetwood and Friends, Bring Me the Fires, the Stubblefield Band. And there you go. That's a big lineup,
a Saturday.
Man. That's your Saturday. So there you go.
Trinity River Festival at the VFW in Cottage Hills.
And there you go. Starting early, going late. Ending, I think, with the Stubblefield Band. So there you go.
Okay. Well, that would make sense.
Anyway, moving on with our Saturday night.
We shall.
We've got Soul Shine Groove doing it at Locke's Brick House in Bethalto from 8 to 11 p.m. And then the Audio Distilled, which happens up at the Blue Stem Distillery in Meadowbrook, says 4 to 7, but we're not sure who's doing it this week.
Haven't heard yet.
There you go.
Michael 20, 2 to 5, and Nikki Lanahan, 8 o'clock at Martin's Tunes and Eats in Wood River. DJ something, 10 o'clock at the franchise in Wood River. Sit Down and Get Down, 9 o'clock at the Pump House in Wood River. Let's see, what else? Rogers and Neen House, back at it on Saturday from 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery. Bob Gleason, 3 o'clock, and then somebody... TBD, 8 o'clock at the Bloody Bucket Saloon in Grafton.
But TBD's already playing at Grafton Oyster Bar at that time.
They are. So,
anyway, then we got Jake's Leg at the loading dock. There's always a good time.
So how are you going to go out to Trinity River Fest with Jake's Leg in town? That's going to be tough. Huh?
It's going to be tough.
You'll find a way.
Yeah, well, I will make it work.
So that's at the loading dock. Double wide duo 1 to 5, and after midnight 7 to 11 at Grafton Pub, weather permitting. Left-handed Cowboy 1 to 5 at Aries Winery in Grafton. Cabin Fever 8 o'clock in Bunker Hill at Red's Tavern, the Sage House. Money Shot 8 o'clock at Wiggler's at Holiday Shores in Edwardsville. The Skylark Brothers 7 to 10 at the Corner Tavern in Edwardsville on Saturday. Scott and Michelle at Big Daddy's from 6 to 9 in Edwardsville, and Butch Moore 9 a.m. until noon at the Goshen Market in Edwardsville on Saturday. The Schuyler Brothers playing early that day, too, but that'll be in Glen Carbon, 1 o'clock at Edley's Barbecue, and then they head back to the Corner Tavern for the doubleheader of Schuyler Brothers on Saturday. Mike Sonderegger, 6 p.m. at the cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. And then here we go with more markets and more music in the park coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Alfresco Productions Melting Pot Market. They'll have live music. Great band. 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at Civic Park in Granite City. Heartbreak Line, 9 o'clock until 1 a.m. at Patrick's in Granite City. That's the folks from the Beowulf Rollins Brothers thing, right? American Originals, 8 o'clock to 12 a.m. at Hooch's and 16 in Granite City under new owners.
Oh, okay.
Phase 2, 8:30 till 12:30 a.m. at Deutsch Village Inn on Saturday. Boulder Dash 5 to 8 at Who Dad's in Collinsville. The Road to Point Fest Grand Finals.
Yeah.
But the thing is, all these guys are in, from what I understand. They're all winners. So this is just a free show for the finalists.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of the finalists get to actually play Point Fest.
That's the way I understood it.
Man, nice.
Misplaced Religion, A Living Hell, Euphoria, who was on with us.
Yep.
Jake's Mistakes, Slept Away, and Crystal Lady, who is on with us.
Yeah.
That's at 7 o'clock at Pops in Sajay. Free show.
There you
Original
go.
music at Pops. Pat Jones, 3 to 7 at Prairie Inn and Dorsey on Saturday. Down and Dirty at the Corner Keg in Highland at 8 o'clock. The PWE presents Hot Dogs and Handshakes, 6 o'clock at the VFW in Highland. NCR, 6 to 10 at Wild Pickens Winery in Chesterfield. And we talked about the Hollow House recently, and here's another show up there in Staunton at the House Party, right?
Right.
A gosh dang boneyard, they call this, with bands H7, Precarious Situation, Open Books, Unknown in Sailing, A Rather Bright Light, all at 6 o'clock at the Hollow House in Staunton. And we talked about Bell Bell doing this thing last week, and they're going to do it again this Saturday. Experience Live Row Music, and look at that list.
Wow, here we go.
Yeah.
So, starting at noon, we got Chris Wilson. At 1, Stroud. At 2, The Simpletons. At 3, Jordan Sutter. At 4, Graham Pagano. 5, Miles Brenton. 6, Dale Papp. 7, Nick Gussman and the Coyotes at the venue on Main.
And then another place.
And then at another place, starting at noon, we got all of those first ones are at the venue on Main. The second one is happening at the Copper Fire, the Blacktop Boulevard.
Right.
Is playing at 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm. But
Or 7:30 to 11. I'm sorry.
It all starts at noon with Shannon Arview, 1:15. Mike Lanany, Topsy Turvy at 3:45. Brandon Sherpius, 5 o'clock. Jackie Tyler, 6:15. Edwin Linson, 7:30. And I think I just was off by one there, wasn't I? Anyways, the whole list is at cottonmouth.org. It's all run together now.
Yeah. So there you go.
Kind of like our brains do when we eat ice cream.
So that all of the ones he was mentioning was at the Copper Fire,
right.
at a place called 7, starting at 11. We got Cree Ryder. At noon, Joshua Eaker. At 1, Hannah. At 2, Haley Woolbright. At 3, Chris Ryan. At 4, Hal Pascal. At 5, Drew Schaefer. At 6, Topsy Turvy. And at 7, Monk.
I think, yeah.
And those are all, those are all at a place called 7. And then finally at the Cigar Inn in Belleville.
Jason Mace, right?
Yep. And
no, that's Bernie's.
No.
Well, it's so confusing.
Yeah, oh, you know what? You're right. At Bernie's Pizza, you got Jason Mace.
5 to 7 is Ryan Cheney. 7 to 11, Mr. Deborah at Bernie's Pizza. Then 2 to 4, Vernon Williams. 4 to 6, Josiah Joyce at the Cigar Inn in Belleville.
There you go. That's like 4 or 5 venues with music going, starting as early as 11 a.m. And just going late into the evening there.
It's
so
a night
good
of
for Belleville.
Long
good for
lists and festivals, it looks like, huh? And that's looks like they're doing it every weekend down there. Although I looked ahead to next week and I didn't see a listing yet. But they're organizing still. So
All right.
we'll
Well,
see.
and then finally on Saturday we got Jesus Christ Supercar with backwash, Sisser, and that's going at the Blueberry Hill Duck Room in St. Louis. $15 in advance.
The hen day of the show, which is odd, but
Yeah,
that's how it
well.
is. 8 o'clock, all ages. $2 surcharge for minors under 21, cash only.
There
folks.
you go.
Hey,
so
do
we're
we get-
we're going to get to that Peace Lords interview any minute now.
Yeah, should we go ahead? We haven't done Sunday in a while. Should we do a quick Sunday?
Let's do a quick Sunday, and then we will get to this Peace Lords interview.
All right, Nick Sickmeyer, 1 to 5, and Cross the Line 6 o'clock at Fast Eddie's. PB and J, they're playing all weekend.
Yeah.
Back at it at Shea, Maryland's 4 to 7. In Alton, Raleigh Overmeyer 3 to 7 at Martin's Tunes and Eats in Wood River, and the the weekly Cottage Chills Wrestling Alliance show still going down 3:30 on Mother's Day.
Nice.
At MacArthur and Cottage Chills, the Trag Band or Lanny and Julie, they both have it listed from 1 to 5 at the Grafton Winery. I
They might
think they're
wrestle.
going to wrestle for it.
That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
pretty
That's
sure.
worth the price of admission.
It's going to be a good one. Wade Trent, 2 o'clock at the Bloody Bucket Saloon in Grafton. He'll be celebrating that battle. And then Graham Pagano will be at Aries Winery from 1 to 5. Bad Tattoo, 2 to 6 at Third Shoot West, getting it going now in West Alton,
Nice.
Missouri. Jonathan Baker is going to get the Long Shot Tiki Bar started this weekend in Portage de Sioux. And open mic, of course, every Sunday night. The Stagger In Again. Butch Moore, I think, doing that this week. How about this one, Big Ben? Here's a date for you and your mom.
All right, it is the Mother's Day Drag Show, hosted by Oliver Hugh, and including performances from Roxanne Street,
Debris.
Laura Lydown, Brother Daniel, and Marquise Saturn Sanchez. That's going on 12:30 at the Reese's Brewery in Edwardsville. $15 cover charge to get into that. That is the Mother's Day Drag Show. Great place to take your mother
That would be great.
on Mother's Day. Also on Sunday, we've got Jay and Ray from 2 to 6 p.m. and then karaoke 7 to midnight happening at Deutz Village Inn. And then Flipside Trio, 1 p.m. at Whodats in Collinsville. Pat Liston, 2 to 5 at the Copper Fire in Belleville. And finally, Mike Judy presents Escape the Fate, 6:30 at the Old Rock House in St. Louis. That is a $25 cover charge on that one.
Yeah.
That is a lot going on. And
Yeah,
now...
you even missed one.
Did we?
Yeah, double wide duo, 2 o'clock at the cabin at Judy Creek.
There you go.
So we're
now-
exhausted. Let's turn this over to a tape version of us.
Absolutely.
That would be way easier. We can just sit here and listen in on this. This is really interesting, especially if you're into rap. I was completely surprised that this guy had that deeper roots. I mean, you're going back to like Run DMC.
Crazy deep roots, has crazy connections with multiple labels, doing multiple kinds of music.
right.
Just a very interesting character. Let's get to the interview.
It's Cinco de Milo Gralnick. Riverbend Talent on the Big Z, Dennis, Pigpen, and Milo.
Milo Gralnick. Welcome to the show, Milo.
Thank you.
Before we get
Peace
started,
Lords, yeah, the Peace
before we get
Lords.
started, let's mention that the show is brought to you by Halpa Music and by Matt Van Voris of Macias Insurance, because
And by the Peace Lord.
and by the Peace Lords.
And Milo.
And by Milo Gralnick. It's by all that stuff. So welcome to the show, Milo. This is our first time meeting. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
And we are going to go deep into some musical history with Milo, because he has some pretty deep roots in the history of music going on around here.
What about Big Daddy Shemp?
Yes.
Gonna get into
Let's mention Big Daddy Shemp.
Right?
That is the bass player of
Right.
the Peace Lords. And you have more, and then OV is the drummer.
Yep.
OV, gonna say it? One Kenobi?
Yeah, you can do
there
it. You can do
there
it.
you go.
I'm still looking at Big Daddy Shemp's real name, Jeff Spore Leader.
I could use a
That's
leader.
not like Wink Lure.
It's
That's Spore Leader is way stronger.
Wink and Lure is just trying to, get someone to come your way, but a spore leader, you got me coming your way. I'm going to be
down,
honest.
I'm down.
A leader full of spores will do it for me.
No wonder it's peaceful with the Lords.
the Lords of Peace. So so Milo Gralnick is the guitarist, vocalist, and writer. He's sitting here with us. Jeffrey Sporleader, the bass player, also known as Big Daddy Shemp, not here, and OV, the drummer, not here. Now, Milo, you say those are the three core members, but you sometimes have many more members on stage with you, or many more people on stage with you.
That is correct. We have Jeremy Thomas, who plays harmonica with us. We have Sammy B, who will play guitar with us, and the list goes on and on. There's been many talented, awesome musicians play with us.
Now, right before we started the interview, we were talking, and you said, like, just one of your last shows, a guy showed up with an amplified banjo and just started playing that. Did you know the guy?
No, I did not know him. First time meeting him, never heard him play before, and he asked me if he could plug in and play with us. I said, come on.
That is awesome.
He plugged in and started playing, and it was fantastic.
That is really cool right there. So.
Does that usually work out?
Yes, I can't think of an instance when it hasn't. Yeah, I really can't, because you figure if somebody's got enough confidence to ask to join in, hopefully they know at least a little bit enough to sound decent. So anyway, I've been lucky, I suppose, because I'm sure there's nightmare stories about situations where that has not.
I play only passing notes.
Yeah.
I only play the notes that aren't in the scale you're playing. No.
Speaking of lucky, though, your career has been pretty fun. You've been all over the place, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
New York.
Yep, New York, up in the South Bronx.
That was back in the 80s?
I believe the year was 1986 when we signed with B-Boy Records, which is that's for old hip-hop heads would know about that record label. That is KRS-One's Boogie Down Productions record label. That Criminal Minded, which is a very important rap album, came out on that label. And we were fortunate enough to be signed to that label and recorded an album entitled Frozen Explosion, which was the name of the group.
You went under the name Deep Freeze.
Deep Freeze was my rap name at that time, because everything was cold back then. You had Ice Cube, you had Vanilla Ice, you had Iced Tea, and I don't know, everything was just cold, and that's.
I saw Ice Cube play live, and it was cold.
Yes,
it was a fabulous show. I was impressed with the man. So
yeah.
I had the chance to be a part of Operation Deep Freeze, but I turned it down.
What was that?
It was a Navy operation.
Oh.
Yeah, they went to the Antarctic. Yeah, for real.
I believe it.
You got to do like it was double your time. So if you did 6 months in the Antarctic, you got a year credit.
Wow.
So a lot of guys went, hey, I'm going to speed this up. That sounds good. Yeah.
I'm going to hang with the penguins.
Yeah, and icebergs.
All that.
Yeah.
I bet that was no easy shortcut there.
When I seen that Deep Freeze, it brought back really traumatic times. No, I'm just kidding. No, I turned it down. I was like, no, I'm going to Japan.
This is probably more fun.
Oh, I had a lot of fun there.
So, so you're in the 80s. You're Deep Freeze. You got an album, Frozen Explosion, out on B-Boy Records, which was a fairly popular record label for that type of music at the time.
Yep. Play any gigs with some big names we might recognize, like the Fat Boys? That's who I remember.
I remember opening up. We played, and it was here in St. Louis at the, I guess it was called the Animal House.
Yeah, right over on 367. Yeah,
I think we opened
the top of the Towers restaurant, or the round top of the towers there.
Yeah, I think we opened up, and I don't want to mess up who was on the bill, but I remember Jekyll and Hyde, which was a rap group, and there was, I think it maybe even Heavy D,
nice.
But I can't recall for sure. There's been some shows, but I just can't remember all of the situations, because I was young and it was a lot to take in.
It was a long time ago. That was a different world. Yeah.
So St. Louis native, originally, then moved around from here, basically.
Yep, I'm from St. Louis, U-City, and moved around a lot, but always came back home, and here I am.
Yeah. at Trinity River Fest.
Yes.
Going to be at Trinity River Fest May 7th, Saturday, May 7th. That is this Saturday coming up, or here in the next Saturday or two. I don't know.
We got a few still.
But there you go. That's and you are playing from 2 to 2:50 on Saturday, May 7th at Trinity River Fest. That is out at the Cottage Hills VFW. That's going to be a good time, but jumping back into your history, because we barely scratched the surface. The 80s, your Deep Freeze with Frozen Explosion, but the next your next move is Venus de Milo.
Yeah, let me think. I think that is the next thing the next big music project I was involved in was Venus de Milo.
I can play guitar as good as Venus de Milo.
I wish that album was available for people to hear. It exists. I think I have a cassette copy of it, and I know the guy who produced the album has it. But I think the masters belong to Atlantic Records. We were signed to Atlantic, which was very exciting. Big shots from New York were flying in. I lived in Chicago at this time. That's where I collaborated with this band, and we became Venus de Milo and did this project that involved rock and roll and rap combined. And this was probably post Aerosmith and Run DMC Walk This Way, but pre like Kid Rock and other things in that genre. So it was in the early stages of rock and rap being coming together.
Well, that whole era was like the beginning of hip hop, really. The early days where, we were hearing a little bit here and there, but it was kind of a new thing and we were all getting used to it, except for the kids that were really into it.
Yeah.
And they were taking it to the level where we were finding out about it. So
yeah.
And to be in New York during that time, I mean, that was where it was all happening, right? Now,
it was very exciting.
What was St. Louis like for hip hop in those days?
Well, I think I might hold the distinction of being the first St. Louis rapper to have a record deal outside of outside of St. Louis. So I was one of the first people in St. Louis to do that.
Take that, Nelly.
So,
it's getting hot here now, ain't it?
Well, they tell us our record was big in Germany, so that's
9.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So
Europeans know music, man.
Yeah. But anyway, so
I always wanted a hit in Japan, just one big hit in Japan. That's all I asked for. Now.
So there probably wasn't a lot of places in St. Louis, though, with the hip hop shows.
Well, like I said, I remember doing a show at the Animal House. There was definitely a demand for it and an appreciation for it here in St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis was a big market for rap acts to come and do shows.
I was just wondering if that's why you went to Chicago quite a bit. Was it bigger up there? Or?
Well, let's see. I went to New York to try to get the record deal, and we did that. And then I moved to Chicago. Just by chance, I just happened to be I just was living in Chicago at that time. So yeah.
Okay.
There you go. You go from B-Boy Records to Atlantic with Deep Freeze and Frozen Explosion to Atlantic Records with Venus de Milo. However, they shelved the record, right?
Yep. It recorded the whole album. It's professionally recorded, mixed, and mastered, and never saw the light of day. So maybe one day it'll leak out or it'll be released or something. I don't know how that works.
That brings us to God Made Velcro. I love that. I love that.
That is a good name.
Which is a video that's available. People can find that, right?
Yeah, that's the band name, God Made Velcro, and the song Shock the Mind.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
How about you? You going to shock your mind later?
I try to every chance I get. I try to relax it and then shock it back into excitement.
Somewhat of a celebrity in that video, though.
Oh yeah, big celebrity in that video. The celebrity is Jeremy Piven from I guess his big claim to fame was Entourage. Ari Gold is his character.
Okay.
He goes around doing stand up now. He came to Helium, I think, and did a show, and people yell out his name. They call him Ari, so his character is kind of it's become a big thing. Anyway,
how do you get hooked up with him to do a video?
Well, I tell you, Big Daddy Shimp, the bass player in the band,
Of course.
has a brother named
Mo.
Little Daddy.
who is an actor, and he's friends with some of these Hollywood big shots.
Okay.
And so through that connection, we were able to ask him to be involved in this video that we were doing at the time. And this was before all the controversy surrounding everything involving everything. So anyway,
The celebrities.
All the controversy involving everything.
yeah, how do you like that? Vagueness.
Before TMZ.
About right.
Yes, before TMZ, pre-TMZ. Anyhow, it's fun it's a fun video to check out. I definitely recommend it. And we still do that song, "Shock the Mind." So
there you go. And the name of that band again, God Made Velcro.
That's right.
I love it.
So you can go on YouTube, check that out. Look for that, Shock the Mind. Next, we got
Line
Deep
'em up.
Freeze and Frozen Explosion on B-Boy Records. We got Venus de Milo on Atlantic Records. We got God Made Velcro with a video with a star in it. And now, after that, we go to Lord Freak.
That's right. Lord Freak, Deep Freeze kind of morphed into Lord Freak, and the album is entitled Gangsta. That's with an A on the end, not gangster, but Gangsta.
Right.
Hippie, Hippie, Gangsta Hippie. And that's a 10-song album of all original rap songs that I did all the music for and did all the lyrics for and everything. Anyway, that's a very fun record to listen to as well. So that's
I'm
fun
just
listening.
Curious, Pigpen, you knew about this record. How do you know about this record?
The Lord Freak one, I am not quite sure where I came across this. I had said at the beginning of the show that we just met Milo tonight when he got here. But however, when I saw him out in the lobby, first thing I thought is, wow, he looks familiar. I feel like I know this guy from somewhere. And when he brought up Lord Freak, I immediately went, that's where I know him from. I can't tell you exactly where it is I've seen you or heard it, but I immediately put it together that, oh yeah, I put longer hair and a hat on you, and you are Lord Freak sitting in that chair, sitting in it.
That's right.
I can picture it.
Yep.
I can't tell you where I came across. I listen to a lot of music, so I don't know exactly where or how, but that definitely clicked in my mind why you look so familiar.
Well,
That's
Lord
awesome.
Freak would definitely be something you'd Google.
I was going to say I could see if I was on YouTube or on Facebook or on some sort of that platform and Lord Freak Gangsta Hippie. I see that, I'm probably going to go, what's this?
Yeah.
So I've randomly come across that one somehow. I did not know that when you were until we were sitting here talking about it. I didn't know that Peace Lords was related to Lord Freak. So there
You got
you
some
go.
solo acoustic stuff then that came out after that, right? Under Milo Rownick.
Yep, and there's a very mellow solo acoustic album, and the album is entitled Stones of Love, and it's just my name associated with that, and that's just a solo acoustic album of some very mellow original songs.
Softer side of Lord Freak.
Yes, sensitive side, yes.
We all have that. There are many faces to each of us.
That's correct.
And all that ends up turning into the Peace Lords, which is a all-original band. You guys been around about 10 years or so, maybe longer.
Yeah, probably longer.
And you guys pretty much just start playing, and that's what the song is tonight. It might be a brand new song you're playing, but mainly an original thing that you guys do and kind of improv off of that. And the set I seen was nonstop. It's like 30 minutes of just kind of shifting gears.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. It's my favorite project that I've been involved in, and just enjoy it very much. And yeah.
Yeah, was that a good description of what the Peace Lords do?
Yeah, I thought that was great. Yep, it's all original. I play guitar and sing. We got Big Daddy Shimp on the bass. We got Ovi on the drums. We have Jeremy Thomas on harmonica. Sammy B plays guitar, and who knows who else may jump up on stage and jam with us. It just depends.
Obviously, Larry Moe and Curly Joe.
Oh, wise guy. I oughta.
Yeah. So, how about Big Shimp Daddy? Did he play in some acts that we might have heard of other than with you?
Well, we've been playing music together for so long. You'll see him in the God Made Velcro video with Jeremy Piven. but I think that's when we started playing together. And God Made Velcro.
Yeah.
So
you
yeah.
met him around that time. How long you known OB?
OV I have known probably for 5 years or so. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything OB's done that we might have heard of?
OV does a lot of stuff, but
He's a drummer.
Yeah, and so I don't know everything he's involved in, but he does some cool stuff. He'll play drums with Mobile Alien Research Unit.
Nice.
Which is a really great band, one of my favorite bands in St. Louis.
Name.
Yeah, they're awesome. That's with Michael Quintero, if I'm saying his name correctly, and Steve on drums. But Ovi will play with them as well. And Ovi is also involved in a project with a band called Library Birds. So those are two things that I know for sure that he's involved in, and he's very mysterious, so I don't know what else he's involved in.
Mysterious, too.
Real quick, Mobile Alien Research
Unit.
That is a great name.
I remember
right
that TV
there.
show, as a matter of fact.
Oh, was it a show?
No, I'm just...
It seems like it should have been one,
Yeah.
man.
That is a wild name.
Yeah, they're a great band.
That is
Great
an
band.
excellent name. So
Definitely
that-
draws your attention when you hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. So if people head out to Cottage Hills, the VFW, to what is it, about the 5th annual Trinity River Fest now, something like that. I mean, I'm not even sure.
10, 15, 20,
They've
whatever.
been going a while. So it's a great festival. All the money's for a great cause. It is always just a beautiful time out there. So I suggest everyone go out for the whole time. However, if they show up May 7th at 2 p.m. You say it's all original,
Oh, yes.
and you can freeform. I'm sort of thinking like he explained it as sort of it could be an improv or it could be a song. So is it? Do you go up with a set list or do you just kind of go up and see what happens?
Well, I do have a set list, and I do have songs that I want to play, but with sometimes those songs just take on these forms that I had things happen live on stage that are exciting and interesting, so they kind of take on a life of their own. But yes, there is a set list, and we have some classics that we play, and yeah.
So
I was just curious. He said he saw a video where it was just 30 minutes of nonstop, and I've seen bands that do that. They'll get up, they'll start playing music, and did they even play a song? They've been playing 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's bad. It's great. I
Right.
love it. But the bands that I tend to like have the most fun at the shows, and I love live music in general, but when they do, they'll hit a song, but then all of a sudden it just gets weird or it gets different where, they're not playing it the way they've always played it. They're having fun. It's jazz time. It's time to get loose. But then at some point, let's work that back into another song, and I, as much as I love the spacey, weird, trippy stuff or the improv jams, it's like, it's fun when you hit the song. It's kind of like the,
Well, I'm thinking to myself, with all those bands that are out there at Trinity River Fest, that's a lot of musicians.
Yeah.
And this guy picks up banjo players, strangers,
Yeah.
out of nowhere, and grabs them. So the chances of something happening that we don't know is going to happen,
The chance,
definitely very good with the Peace Lords at 2
the
o'clock.
chances of the sound man running out of channels is a very strong possibility.
That's a lot of musicians.
Well, that's 2 days of music going from I guess like noon until midnight or something like that. So yeah, lots of bands and a great lineup going on that Trinity River Fest. So happy to see the Peace Lords be a part of it. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to checking out the set. As I told you when you got here, a lot of the bands at Trinity River Fest we're very familiar with. They've been on the show. We've seen them play. We've ran sound for them. We've done, helped them with gigs, whatever. You were one of the new ones this year that I have not seen. Very much looking forward to that. When you write, do you have any sort of style, or is it just whatever? Is it music comes to you first, lyrics come to you first, or is it just whatever happens this time?
Yeah, I think I spend a lot of time on my porch playing my acoustic guitar, and a lot of songs are born that way. And then also playing with the band, things have happened that way. So it's just a very organic kind of process that just kind of happens in different ways. But I do spend a lot of time just playing my guitar on the porch, and songs are written that way a lot.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome way to spend time.
Yeah, man. You know it is.
Yeah, and before we let you get out of here, Milo Gralnick, we need to give a shout out to the Good Vibes Preschool, where you taught lots of young kids how to play a guitar here and there, huh?
Yeah, that was a great thing. I was mentioning that from about the year 2007 to 2020, up until the pandemic, owned and operated Good Vibes School, which was a preschool in Clayton, Missouri, and did a lot of art and music and cooking with the kids, and just had a great time. So
Yeah.
we sent out a very positive ripple into the universe, because we just had a great time there.
Yeah.
And that is, for anyone who's never been involved with a daycare,
Man, could you imagine
it is-
jamming at preschool?
that would have been awesome. But I'm giving them props on the whole of it. That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
he's talking about the fun part of it. There's the other part where you're watching somebody else's kid, and the state is watching you watch them, and there's 32 steps to changing a diaper, and there's there's a lot to running a preschool, but there is the fun part where you get to do all the great stuff
Well,
with the kids.
we had the special niche where it was kids ages 3 to 5, so they were pretty much out of diapers, hopefully, but not yet in kindergarten. So it was this special little window of time where the kids are independent, yet anyway,
You weren't doing baby so much.
not at all.
There you
And
go.
it was a half-day program, so it was just every day was just a blast. So
It was like summer school all the time.
it was just a lot of fun. Yep, it was.
Yeah. What are you going to do today? We're going to jam. They were going to paint some pictures.
Oh yeah, there was.
Like
All right.
awesome.
All right, I've got homework for you. You're going to listen to Hendrix tonight.
Oh.
I want you on ELO.
Yeah.
That's
No Kid Rock.
he's a hack.
That was my joke.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I liked it. That was
I get
good.
it.
I get jokes. So
Yeah.
there you go. So that's pretty cool. I did not know that.
I want to
Dennis
see.
here. Dennis here is the journalist. He went and looked for videos and tried to look you up. Found out. Me, I'm like, I didn't even know who you were. You walked in. I'm like, hey, dude, what's up, man?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to do more research. Now I got all the goods here with Lord Freak.
Oh,
Are you
yeah,
kidding
yeah,
me?
yeah,
I got to
that's-
check that out.
yeah.
God made Velcro.
That's
Are
the
you
one.
kidding me?
Shock
the mind.
Out of
enjoy
all
it.
of them, the
That's
guy
not
made
even MK Ultra.
it is MK Ultra. We just don't know it yet. No, the Venus de Milo's interesting to me. Deep freeze, but yeah, the God made Velcro is the one I'm going to go home on YouTube for
Yep,
sure.
you'll enjoy that.
So,
Frozen Explosion.
Yep.
These are some serious names there. on this list.
You'll find
Deep
all those
freeze?
except for the Venus de Milo. You won't be able to find that one, I don't think. I've never really searched for it, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's out there. I think that's
Yeah.
in Atlantic Records.
You know what?
We're going to Atlantic
some,
Records
I got
and
some friends
demand
who
its
work for
release.
Atlantic that I'm going to ask them to sneak it out.
Jason Flom, that's the guy that's who you want to look for. I think he runs Lava Records now, which is some big label. I don't know how record stuff works
look,
anymore.
we
It's
don't-
all different now.
We don't need Jason. All we need is a guy who sweeps up at night and has the keys. and knows how to read files.
That was
Yeah, man.
probably on analog tape, too.
I think it was digital audio tape. I think it was DAT.
I was
Yeah, it
wondering
was
if
DAT
it's-
tape.
Okay, so that's probably preserved at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If the air conditioning didn't break,
Frozen Explosion was on the big 2-inch reel-to-reel tape. That one, we did that one. In fact, what's interesting about the Frozen Explosion record is that we recorded that in Belleville at a studio called Control Studios. I don't know if anybody knows that. This is going so far back. And the gentleman that ran that studio is Dave Reeves. I don't know whatever happened to Dave, but anyway.
You ever run into Ike Turner?
Nope, never saw
Just
Ike.
had to bring it up. I mean, funk, you know. So
Nope.
you never know. You never know. You met a lot of guys, so and had a lot of fun. It sounds like.
Yeah, definitely.
And still doing it with the Peace Lords,
Can't stop.
right?
yeah, well,
At
that's
the Trinity River Festival.
Yeah, man. Great festival.
Yeah,
Very-
great
very-
cause.
Yep.
Be cleaning some parks up later in Trinity's name.
yeah,
Right on.
absolutely. They just had a cleanup last weekend on Sunday, where they did the the park down there where the Piesaw bird is painted, and then across the street by the river, which I'm going to tell you, I've been involved in that one a lot. That's a tough one. A lot of people throwing trash out there. And it's all one strong wind from going in the ocean, being part of our ecosystem forever. So,
so it's not the yacht rockers here.
It is not. Oh, it might be. I don't know. But
those,
all I'm saying is
those people over in Portage de Sioux who did you that bad deal on the rental, maybe.
I would not rent a jet ski from them again. I will tell you that. But that's fine. No, I just want to give big props to all the people who are involved in the Trinity River cleanups and in the things they do with animals as well. So. Thanks so much, Milo, for coming down and talking to us and letting us know not only about the Peace Lords, but about the solo stuff, Lord Freak, God Made Velcro, Venus de Milo, and Deep Freeze and Frozen Explosion, which is just some good stuff. And I'm sure you had a few other probably singles sprinkled in and out of there as well.
I've thought of a few other ones, but I'm like, we've heard enough, and I thank you guys for having me.
No, that's super cool, man. Yeah, it was an awesome story to learn about, and appreciate it, man, for making that long journey from U City.
Yeah, man. My pleasure. Beautiful, beautiful downtown Alton. So I love it over here.
Yeah. Yes. We try. Yeah, I don't do nothing. Pigpen, he tries.
I try to have a good time. That's all I try to do.
Just clean up the river, you know.
Well, you know, I'm just picking up trash that other people have thrown out. I don't know why.
I wonder what Jeff's spore leader does.
I'm going to be like Nick on Family Ties and start making garbage art. And I don't know about any of that.
Yeah, we got to get the rest of the band to come by sometime and have a chat with us.
Yeah, man.
We've got to know some stuff about Big Daddy Shemp.
They'll be out there on Saturday, May 7th.
There you go.
2 o'clock, Trinity River Festival.
Yeah. There you go. So everybody make sure that the Trinity River Fest going on the whole weekend of May 6th and 7th, I believe. So everybody get out there and check it out. Lots of good bands, music going all day, 2 days. There's vendors, there's food, there's drink, there's lots of smiles and good times. So everybody get out and check it out, and definitely be there Saturday, May 7th, to about 3 o'clock. You're going to check out the band called the Peace Lords. Thanks again, Mr. Milo Groundlick. We will catch up with you on May 7th. Everybody make sure you get to Trinity River Fest. Everybody make sure you go out to Halpin Music, who sponsors this show and allows us to come in and jack around every week. And if you buy a really nice guitar or a real nice instrument, Halpin, call up Matt Van Voors, have him insure that instrument for you, because Macias Insurance also sponsors this show and allows us to come in and do this. Big thanks to all of them.
Going on like 7+ years now, those guys have been supporting all the local music in the area and making sure that we're able to tell you guys what's going on each week and where to catch live performances. So
absolutely.
Big appreciation to our sponsors.
There you go. So, and the only other thing we can say is everybody get out and support local music and art.